same mic. Where did you get your thingy? I want a purple.
Yeah, I got it on Amazon. I got one of their like cheaper arms. I got that on Amazon. So now I have like a whole setup where I can move it closer and further and I can sit a little bit further back.
I think that's my next investment then.
They had one that was like $40. And then I was like, I don't know if I have it like in me. And then I found one for like 20. Actually, I think it was closer to 60 and I found one for 20.
So I just need an arm. I literally just need.
Yeah. So I got the arm and then I got this little thing for like maybe $6, $7.
I would love a purple mic.
Is purple your pink?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And it's really, I love a good deep purple.
Mm,
I'll take a purple like your pink. I'll take that too.
yeah. I love pink. My mom loves pink and I kind of got it from her, but it's like I have contradictory loves. I love pink, but I also really, really, really love like black and gray.
Ooh, how
Mhm.
extreme.
I know, it's so weird. It like describes my personality so well though.
What's your birthday?
December 5th.
You're a Sag.
Hmm. I'm a I am a Sag.
Sad. You're in there. Yeah.
I my sun, my moon, my Mars, and my Mercury are all in Sagittarius.
No way.
It's like I woke up like I woke up like this. And now I'm just like accepting. I have to upload something while I'm here. I'm just accepting of the funniest thing to me though is that I woke up like this, but my Venus is in Libra and my ascendant is in Cancer. And it's like the weird, and that's where you kind of get like this weird contradiction from me. I'm can be really girly and then really tough. And then I don't need a person. I'm very independent, but then I love love. I love love so much and I want to stop. I've actually just came to realization that I don't want a relationship in my life.
Hmm.
Like for the foreseeable future. Not, not just doing, oh, I'm taking a hiatus because whatever. I'm like, no, actually, I have no desire for as far as I can see out to be in another relationship.
I'm so interested in the story, but I'm also a bit timid because I don't want to not want a relationship.
I think it's more of a me choice thing. I have had relationships, and I've always been like a relationship girl. Um, and obviously some of them haven't turned out well because I'm single. But
Same.
right now, right now, everything that's going on with my life, I'm kind of just like, what I'm looking for in this next chapter of my life is peace and understanding and growth and being able to build my podcast and, build everything else I'm working on and putting myself in a position where I'm in a relationship to me, for me specifically, jeopardizes that. And that, goes with like the whole Sagittarius, Libra, and Venus thing. Because I love love so much, I sacrifice like all of the things that I really want to work on because I want to give this love a chance.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I don't want that right now. I want to travel and I want to explore the world and I want to find peace in myself. And for me, I don't want to take the risk of having someone else like in my energy right now. I just want it to be me. So,
I think I've gotten to a pretty like peaceful place.
mhm.
But every time I go out, I'm just like, is it him, Lord? Can we start now? So
No, I
I
get
feel
there.
you, but I think I'm being forced to take some time to myself and
Mhm.
really know myself.
I'm dead.
Uh, okay.
I think that's the whole thing about like the relationship thing. Cause I'm the same way. I was always like, is that the guy? Is that the guy? There's this guy that comes into my job sometimes, and for a second I was really speculating on like, is that him? And then I'm like, I don't like, there's so much of my peace that gets disturbed
Hmm.
by it that I'm just not in that place anymore. And, I think trusting that one day I'll get to that place again.
Yeah.
It'll be nice. Who knows?
You know what? I went out last night.
Mhm.
I did smoke a bit, but I ended up crying in my car. I was
Aw.
just like waiting for traffic to die down. And so apparently there was like a concert or something. But the guy next to me, he's like door open, singing a song, and then cranks it up on the radio. And it's that Bruno Mars song. Um, Talking to the moon, trying to get to
Mhm.
you. Yeah. So, and it starts, I know you're somewhere out there. Somewhere.
Mhm.
Like I was just in the car, like, put your bag. And so he like peels off, and I'm just sitting there with tears, like, and I had the realization with myself, I was like, you're gonna have to be okay if you end up single forever.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to be able to process this. And this is what you're having a problem with.
Isn't that such a crazy concept though?
Yeah. Because I never would have thought, not me.
Yeah. No, I would have never, like, for myself, I would have never come to the conclusion that, like, I might just have to be alone. Like, that would have never that would have never come into my mind, and now I'm like, I mean, I was a serial relationship person, like, I loved love, I love relationships, and now I can't even, like, read. I love to read, and I can't even read romance books right now, and I'm just I'm kind of there too, like, this may not be for you, and it's weird because when I came to that realization, I had, like, this funny feeling that something big was happening, and it makes me think of, the saying that they say that, one of the problems with women specifically is that we want it all.
Yeah.
And every successful woman is just like, you can't have it all. Like something gets sacrificed in that. And so I wonder if it's like, and there are women who are successful, right? And who are doing it and they're doing it with a husband and everything like that. But they got the husband first,
Exactly.
usually.
Yeah.
And they built upon that. So I'm wondering if it's just like, I need to focus on this and build this and then worry about the rest later.
I have to tell you,
Hmm.
that's how I ended up with a PhD.
Really?
I was just like, I'm gonna stop like looking for a husband and everything, and I'm just
Mhm,
gonna put my head down, and then he's gonna come find me because that's how it
mhm,
goes. I have a PhD. I'm still single. I think we're 5 years post, still
mhm,
single. So I get you. I think the thing for me, when you were talking about like just focusing on this,
mhm,
have had that conversation with myself. And so now I'm dialing in hard. But
mhm,
also, it does not escape me that every other person that I've met going through this situation has a husband and a
mhm,
dual income. And I'm
mhm.
just like,
It's the most exhausting thing watching, and, like, this is no shade to them, but I'm the same way. Like, even as, like, an author and as an indie author, I'm watching people have support systems that have dual incomes that are like, "Go ahead, babe, follow your dreams," and I'm just like, jealous isn't the word, but they have their own issues, obviously, but, like,
mhm.
oh, how amazing would that be to not?
I said that. What, like, I went out last night and I went out with like a group of friends.
Mhm,
But I was like, how great would it have been to have my partner here with me while I'm out in a group of strangers so that we can make friends or he
mhm,
can find a friend and I can like, and I was just like, I would have somebody to talk to right now, but now I'm over here like forced to be social and talk to strangers. So I guess this is for my good. Yay. Like, I don't mean to be ungrateful, but
but a little ungrateful over here.
happening. Yeah. What am I missing?
You know, I it's interesting because you know that they say the more educated a woman is, the harder it is for them to find a partner. And I was recording a podcast maybe last week, maybe the week before, and we were talking about how there was a couple statistics. One of the statistics was that when a woman gets married, she gains 7 more tasks, or even just like in a relationship, she gains 7 more tasks. And then there was another one that said that right now, men's qualifications for dating are to date other men and not to date other women. And I was like, oh, because what they're saying is that, you know, women are ranking high in getting diplomas and be getting C-suites and starting businesses and all these things, and men aren't ranking that high in that anymore. And they don't meet the qualifications of these women. And even the emotional maturity, they don't meet the qualifications of the emotional maturity of these women. And what they're really doing is just kind of dating their bros. They're dating to date their bros.
I wonder, okay, so
Mhm.
two thoughts. I'm gonna go with the first one because I think it'll be fun.
Mhm.
I've been in a group, like a few social groups that are like for millennials
Mhm.
and or college educated millennials. And so one thing that always happens when we get into the gender wars is somebody will have a similar situation to what we've been explaining. And
Mhm.
it's just like, do men care that I have a PhD? Like, does that elevate you in some way, or does it elevate me in your eyes in some way? And
Mhm.
guys are like, no, I'm not in competition with you. I'm in competition with other men. And it's just like, so you're not paying attention to what I'm doing. And I'm over here excelling. And
Mhm.
you're competing with your neighbor? Is that
Because
our
they
goal
they
misaligned?
they inherently believe that, like, we are just lesser, like, we're not their competition. And, like, in a relationship, that is beneficial because you don't wanna compete with your partner, right, right? But in a professional, like, I want you to see me as just as much competition as anybody else who has a PhD, who has anything, like, and in fact, be more afraid because I had to work 2 times as hard to get it. Like, you should be more fearful of me being educated than the people that you share gender with, because the people that you share gender with, you guys get this education and no offense, but most of you don't do shit with it.
Mhm. That's I've also in this movement, I have resolved that sitting at a desk
Mhm.
doing somebody else's work is not me.
Mm-mm.
It's the
Mm-mm.
conversations, it's the environment, it's the hierarchy, it's all of that that's just not for me. But I'll see, and I don't know, I'm not sure how we got here, but I'll see men who endure it
Mhm.
just for the sake of being a provider. And it's just like, well, what about your creativity? Like, did you know that there's more? You could do more. But cool, go off, King. But also, it leaves me looking at people who love a 9 to 5, and I'm not a 9 to 5 girl. It seems crazy to me now.
Mhm.
So again, things feel misaligned. Like the more that black women, the less attractive black men are.
I ooh, that part.
Yeah.
And I've said this before and I got so much vitriol about it. But I agree with you. The more that we, you know, it's so weird because they claim they want us to like let our black girl magic shine and they call us queen and everything. But the more we act like we are queens, the more you don't want us.
You just, it's right here and you don't know.
Mm-mm.
There's no women out here for me, bro. She wants my money. She does.
She doesn't. I mean, let's be clear. Out of all of my female Black friends that I've had, one of them and only one of them was looking for money. And she was very open about it. Like when she would go out with you, one of her first questions would be like, "What is your credit score?" So like from at that point, you know exactly where her head is at, right? Outside of her, and granted, a lot of it was more about security and, trauma things and things like that. Outside of her, I've not had a single friend who has ever cared about what their partner makes. Like legitimately not had a single friend who's been like, "Oh, I need my partner to make six figures." Like I've truly never cared. And in most of my relationships, I often was the one of like following my dreams, but also being a little bit more steady.
Yeah.
And it's just I don't know, it's so wild to me, and I want it to change, and Black men get so mad at me when I talk about this, and they're like, "You don't care about Black men and Black men's mental health." Yes, I do. I want you to like I want you to find what makes you happy, and if it's not me, cool, great, but like have some conversations with yourself about why is it that we become less attractive the more that we shine.
Hmm.
Like a big comment. Black men care so much about the perception of makeup.
Yeah.
It's so weird to me, right? Like I've never seen heard another like group of men have the same thought. Like there's outliers here and there. But like there's so many you look on social media, there's so many photos about 90s TV stars and they're like, "Oh, bring back the no makeup and the girl where the girls who didn't wear makeup." Like, sweetheart, they wore a crap ton of makeup. They were on TV.
They were on TV. You also don't know these people personally. So you have no idea what they look like when they first wake up.
No. And like also, commending women for doing a no makeup look. Like if I want to express myself, now I get like I understand you not being able to recognize the person when they take makeup off, that's different. But like if I want to express myself by using colorful eyeshadow or high blush or different color, like that's none of your business.
I get the inverse problem
Mm,
where I don't wear makeup most days. I just
mhm,
bare face. I completely forget, or sometimes I don't care. And so guys will be like, "Oh, it's so great that you don't, oh my God, I just love that you don't wear makeup and you don't wear lashes or anything." Like, oh, I hate that. And it's just like, why is this a thing to you? Why? Of all the things.
of all
Like,
the things.
oh no, makeup, what she does. And I think it's also the thing of like being male centered and believing that makeup is done for the attention of men, which again, it's not.
No.
It wouldn't be. Yeah, no.
Do you know the irony? There was a study that said that women who wear makeup are hated by their female peers more, but they are also seen as more put together in the workplace and they're promoted more.
It seems to correlate. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like once again, I wasn't doing this for you. I was doing it because this is me put together. This is me buttoned up. This is me in my business, mode. I have different makeups for like when I go to work. I wear different type of makeup than when I'm podcasting. When I'm podcasting, I'm usually putting on concealer, usually have blush on more. When I'm going to work, I'm like, I'm gonna do eyebrows on, some mascara, and some highlighter and call it a day. But, those are all about I love makeup because I love the expression of it. Like
Hmm.
the color change of my blush changes the whole way that my face looks that day.
Yeah. Yeah. I do enjoy. I do enjoy putting on makeup Fridays and Saturdays.
Mhm, mhm.
Stop when I get these glasses. Other days, I'm down. But, or I guess not, but, and I think it's just creativity in another form. Like we're walking around literally looking at people put together and buttoned up. like you said, but it's the creativity and expression of what you do with your face. And
Mhm.
so to the point of the I'm so glad you don't wear makeup, it feels confining.
I'm
Like,
so glad that you're not expressing yourself.
yeah, I'm so glad that you're not flamboyant in that way. Like, it would be too much.
I want my
Like,
girls demure.
which another thing, I don't know, I'm not sure what the focus of this podcast is right now, but I do have a tangential thought.
I
So
love tangents. Let's go.
I'm thinking about, and crap, I hope I didn't just lose it. What did I just say before I said that
You didn't know where this podcast was going. We were talking about how men want women to be more demure.
okay, thank you.
I'm the same way, don't worry.
Glad we got that back. The practice, the I'm not sure it's not a trend because it's been done consistently, like it hasn't stopped.
Mhm.
But men searching and trying to attract or attracting women who are expressive and creative. And so they get with that guy and they slowly lose their creativity. Like maybe no more lipstick. Maybe you don't get your nails done anymore. Maybe you dress in just like casual clothing and not anything extra festive. Like I also think that I'm sure it's been studied.
Mhm.
I think we need to hear the results in common general speak because it doesn't make sense. Like when you think about and I'm like in the back of my head, I'm thinking like this would be crazy if this is like a viral clip, you know? But
Mhm.
here we are. I'm out here. So, I think that it's just so there's so many reasons not to date men. There's so many reasons not to date black men.
Mhm.
I'm saying that as a black woman because
Mhm.
I know that that's our primary connection. I
Mhm.
know about other races of men and what their peeves are, but it just seems like this is something I've said since graduate school. I think that we raise our daughters to be independent and raise our sons to be providers. And that does not fit because you have people wanting to be a provider with someone who wants to be independent. And so here we are at an impasse. Mind you, I would love to be I'm sorry. I would love to be provided for.
Mhm.
Would love. Where are we going, babe? I left my brain in the car and I'm not picking it up. Love it. But no, I come off as too independent.
You know what? I think that's the misconception about the independent woman in general. Like
Hmm.
I'm a hyper independent and me and my co-host from another podcast that I do, we talk about all the time about how I just need the right person to be more
Hmm.
assertive than I am. And I'm not going to back down on my assertions. Like that's who I am. I'm 34 years old. That's who I'm going to be, you know. But that doesn't mean that I'm not looking for someone who I can be dependent on in some way. And a lot of men, the problem is that they get an independent woman and they want to make her solely dependent.
Hmm.
They want, like you said, they want to bring her down. They want to break down her creativity instead of finding the providership or the dominant trait or maybe the submissive trait, who knows,
Hmm.
and who they are.
Yeah.
Like instead of trying to find places like don't tell me how to run my business, but tell me
For
how
you.
to eat food. Like find the places where a relationship is supposed to be like we mesh, we fill in the spaces where the other one lacks. So if I'm not lacking in business acumen,
Hmm.
then don't tell me that. But if I'm lacking in how to handle my motherfucking finances, baby, I will listen to you. You want to do my finances? Have it.
Look,
Take it.
when I tell you it's literally God and Chase talking to each other, because I don't know what's happening. Please, like, there's a lot of things, and you're absolutely right. For that, like, misconception or hyper independent women,
Mhm.
like, we are independent because we've had to be.
Mhm.
If you literally, I mean, approach us gently, I guess, but just talk to a woman. and not be an asshole, and you're in there. You're the bar is in hell.
The bar
Just
is
tiptoe.
l-
Like,
high key. The bar is so low that like, do you listen to Sabrina Carpenter? She literally made a song. It's called Slim Pickens, and one of the lines is a man that's kind and breathes.
where's
Like
he?
that's how Slim Pickens like who are you a kind person and you breathe? Cool.
Let's do it.
I you know what? I was in a relationship. I was in a poly relationship and it was interesting because everything was good. I was the one that was came out the big gate like, "Hey, I'm poly."
Hmm.
And he was in traditional man or like, "Great. This means that I can sleep with a whole bunch of women." And I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like here, like these are our established rules. And I'd be like, "Oh, are you going out tonight? Cool. Talk to some chicks, get some numbers, whatever." All of a sudden, he's like, "Oh, actually, I don't feel comfortable with you having another partner." And I acquiesce because I don't need another, or he didn't feel comfortable with me having another sexual partner. And I'm like, "Okay, cool, whatever. I don't need another sexual partner. I don't believe that a partner has to be sexual to be beneficial in your life,
Hmm.
personally.
Hmm.
I think that women are finding that out more just in their friendships. Like, my friendships support me more than these relationships. But the interesting thing was that so those were like the little parts that you were talking about, right? He knew that I was giving up my 9 to 5 to try to follow my career as an author. And my finances were falling apart and like the support that should have been given was either like, here's the money, or it's okay if your finances fall apart. We'll figure out a solution. Your dreams are important. His was like, well, maybe you need to give up on your dreams for a little bit and go back to the 9 to 5. And I'm like, if I go to a 9 to 5, it will kill me. Like
Exactly.
I'm just being, and I know that people don't understand that concept because a lot of people are neurotypical and they don't understand that not everybody brains work that way. But those are like small things, right? We're long distance, so I finally go see him. And right before I'm going to see him, he's like, oh, we're going to meet all my roommates. And I'm like, okay, this was spur of the moment. I have anxiety, but all right. And he's like, yeah, but we're also gonna be my brother. So like, I'm like, okay, so what are you saying? He's like, just dress like you're gonna meet my brother. And I'm like, so you don't want me to wear like my crop tops and stuff? The things that you love when I send you photos,
Yeah, don't wear that. Only for me.
only for me. And that is the issue. I had a conversation with someone else in the military, and he was like, yeah, I don't understand why girls wear short skirts in a relationship. And I was like, I'm confused. Don't you like the short skirts? He's like, yeah, but once you get in a relationship with me, you can't wear that anymore. Like, no, 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 no. If I'm wearing for instance, I'm wearing a lot of sweats,
Hmm.
right? They're comfortable. I fucking love them. Don't come around and be like, oh, I don't want you to wear sweats anymore. You saw me wear a shit ton of sweats. So you knew I was going to wear a shit ton of sweats. So why are you pressing me about what you knew? I gave you an accurate presenting of who I am and you liked it. But now all of a sudden you don't. And they always say that women try to change men and
The narratives are so flipped.
mm, I mean,
Like
I'm not
the
saying that women don't. But women try to change men in positive and in influential ways. Men try to change women in ways that will only make us more subservient to them.
and him specifically,
Mhm.
like not even the male gender, just to you.
No, because then you break up with this person and then you go date another person. They're like, I don't want you to be doing these things. Then you have to rewire your entire brain because this person wants you to be subservient in another way.
You just gave me a fantastic, fantastic point. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry,
She's like,
just
sticky
making
note immediately. Well, while we have this great pause, we'll get into some of our pop culture roundups and then we could probably bounce back onto this topic later. Quick pause, because if you love dark stories that don't flinch, Olympic War isn't a soft love story. It's violent, it's chosen, and it cost everything. Through war, betrayal, and survival, Moonstone fights for devotion that refuses to die. This is a Black multicultural dystopian series about power, sacrifice, and what rises from the ashes. Olympic War and Phoenix War. Read them wherever books are sold. But yeah, let's talk about our first. This is funny because this is going to kind of lead in to our conversations when I go to the second half of it. So, Coachella is going on.
Hmm.
We're in week 2. Interestingly, so when I originally reported on Coachella, I reported that they had Sabrina Carpenter, who is one of the biggest names in music right now, headlining on Friday.
Hmm.
They have Justin Bieber, who has been inactive in music for the most part, like not doing concerts or whatever, as the headliner for the main day, which is Saturday night. And I was like, that's interesting because Sabrina Carpenter's been working her butt off in music, dropping music and everything. And you put her second to Justin Bieber.
Because you thought people would come for Justin Bieber, but not for Sabrina Carpenter.
But I mean, like, because I mean, she's still headlining on Friday, but you thought that Justin and arguably Justin Bieber is a bigger name overall. But like, no one's blasting his music the way that they used to be. He's not going to award shows nominated for every single.
Yeah, no.
So there's this controversy that happens, and I'm going to give you two folk. There's a controversy that happens with Sabrina Carpenter. She's doing a set at Coachella Friday night last week because there's 2 weeks, and someone starts yodeling her. And
Yodeling who?
I wanna let me look it up because there's like a specific group of people or ethnicity that was doing it, and it was very interesting. It was an Arabic chant from the hold on. Where is it? I'm trying to see if I can find it. It was something with like a Z. Zag Zagruda is a loud rhythmic sound made quickly by moving the tongue around. It was a chant, right? Sabrina Carpenter's known for being sarcastic and whatever. So she's in the middle of a set though. Everybody's pretty quiet. And then this starts and she's like, "What is that?" And everyone's kind of laughing. She's like, "Is that yodeling?" And then someone from the crowd was like, "It's me. It's this thing." And Sabrina Carpenter, who's known again to be witty and comical, is like, "I don't like that." Which is totally fair. Like I don't know what you're saying.
You're also interrupting my concert that people paid to see me perform.
Thousands, thousands of dollars that people are paying to be here for. And from what I've researched, it wasn't even supposed to be like in that it is not supposed to be used in that context. They said that um Shakira has let out one during the Super Bowl halftime show, but it's not supposed to be something that you like give to someone else, apparently. But a lot of people were giving her backlash because they were like, "It's my culture," and she's like, "That's your culture and yodeling," and it's like it's called a call a celebration, and she's like, "I don't." She said, "Is it Burning Man? What's going on? That's weird." Very factual. This isn't Burning Man that would make complete sense, but this is like Coachella. You're there for the music and the hippie vibes and the experience. So Sabrina Carpenter has to release a statement apologizing. And I love her statement because it's very much like her. She said, "My apologies. I didn't see the person with my eyes and couldn't hear clearly. My reaction was pure confusion, sarcasm, and not ill intent. Could have handled it better. Now I know what a Zagruda is. I welcome all cheers and yodels from here out." Which I think is handled perfectly. Like,
Hmm.
I didn't know what it was. If you're shouting random things at me that I don't understand, and it's only random, it's not random because the call is random or not a knock at the culture. It's random because I don't know what it is. It's like us going to another country and using our slang. And like if we said 6, 7 in another country, they'd be like, "What is wrong with you?"
What are your 8, 9, girl? What?
10, 11, what? So in comparison, Sabrina gets she throws on a fantastic show. Her shows are like known to be fantastic. Beautiful set. People are talking about her entrance, everything. Justin Bieber, in comparison, sits down and starts streaming. Have you seen this?
Yeah. I haven't seen it, but I've heard a lot about it.
And just playing music from his laptop,
His
sitting down
music.
and singing.
Yeah.
The
Headline.
mediocrity
Yeah.
of what he gave everybody, and people are just going crazy over it.
Because what?
He gave you nothing.
He gave you, that's what I'm saying. Is that the craze?
You you could have sent like on TikTok live with him and got the same thing. And the comparison to these things is that we're not criticizing Justin Bieber for not having a set list, for not having a set design, for not doing anything other than showing up and being a white male. But we're criticizing Sabrina Carpenter for putting on a great show, but not understanding that someone yodeling at her during a quiet set was like, what is this world?
I don't know. I'm trying to get as far from it as possible.
Like,
I I try not to even pay attention to the day to day because I
mm,
think that I would go crazy. I think that with everything that like all the little microaggressions that happen around us and then hearing the news, I think that I would seriously need to be committed because get me out of here. So I've just
immediately.
kind of blocked it. It's a hilarious reality show if I weren't living it.
I covered The Traitors, which is a reality TV show, and I couldn't finish watching it because that reality show was so much like the reality that we're living in this day where black and brown people get voted off first and they're viewed as untrustworthy and all these things, and then women get manipulated by I was just like, I can't do this. I There's literally a guy on there, his name was Colton, and I will, to this day, I cannot stand him. I don't give a
This
fuck what
day.
nobody say. To this day, he was a white male who like went on The Bachelor, dated women, later came out after his season, after he stalked a girl, the winner, and craziness, came out as gay, and he thought that that was like an absolution. No, yeah. No, yeah.
Is that not worse?
Right, my point. So then he goes on Traders and he,
Wait, who was Colt? Which one is this? Because I did watch Traders.
oh, did you watch the new season?
Yeah.
Colton was the big NFL white male. The one that was like, I got Lisa fucking Rinna voted off and everything. The one that
Uh-huh.
Rob was like best friends with.
Uh-huh.
That's him. And no one, and they questioned him on Traders like, wait, you went on The Bachelor and you dated women, but then you're gay. Like, how does that work?
Yeah. Is this who I think it is? I did not like him.
No.
I did not like him. No.
And once again, it's just like ah, this mediocrity that they give these men to just be basic.
Yes. I think like I don't know. Okay, so like I go back and forth on if we even acknowledge these aggressions
Hmm.
or if we persist despite. Like if I sit and focus on this,
Hmm.
what time is that taking away from my excellence?
Hmm. I love that.
So I was watching it, thank you. I was watching it and I really did not like him, but I completely like forgot about him after the
You
season.
like blocked them out of your mind.
I did. Because I had no idea who you were talking about just now. Um, and did watch just about I watched until what's her name?
Candace?
Got off the show
Me
after.
too.
Yeah.
After she was gone, I was like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. The blatant trust that they put in a white male for no fucking reason. That everybody was on Candace's side and was like, yeah, Rob's been real sketch. And then all of a sudden Rob is just like, it could be Candace. And everyone's like, oh, it could be. And I'm just like, what the?
I can't focus on it because it would take me out of my mind.
Yeah. I,
I am in my own zone. Okay, so this is a thing that
mhm,
happened. I was teaching adult credit class, right?
mhm,
Teaching a dual credit class, and the the class went well. I'm leaving. I'm walking out down the hallway, and I have like the dual credit shared badge, and I'm like, doing the thing where you like twist it around your wrist and whatever. So
mhm.
there's two cops in the hallway, and one of them yells, and he's like, students need to wear their badges around their necks. And I was like,
Because you just said students need to, and
you're
I'm
not
not a
talking to
student.
me. Yeah. And I was just like,
Couldn't be
"Mm,
me.
I work for, and then I said the school that I work for. So I don't, okay, this is no longer any of my business. So I keep walking. I'm literally walking out the building. I get into like the foyer where I am putting the badge back and I say, thank you. The officer has been following me this entire time. And then, so like after I get ready to leave, he's standing right here as I'm walking out the door. And he was just like, like aggressively looking at me. And I was like, what are you doing? And I walked out the door and he was like, you're going to come back here and talk to me. If you don't come back here and talk to me, I'm going to have you arrested for trespassing on school grounds the next time you come here. I can't wait for you to come back tomorrow so I can arrest you. And I'm just like, I just walked to my car. I didn't turn around. I walked straight to my car. And I was just like, I cannot deal with the foolishness. I'm not dealing with it. You can
Picture
have
me
it.
confusion. Like,
You can have it. Whatever that was, you can have it. So yeah, I can't do it.
that is a perfect lead into, like, not a perfect lead into, but the kind of concept where it's like, I'm not feeding into this. And to
Mhm,
our next topic, which is Coco Gauff,
mhm.
her hair controversy. I want to say first, I love her response, right? Her response is, this is the hair that grew out of my head. This is how the hair that grew out of my head grows out of my head. And it was okay enough and fashionable enough for Miu Miu, which is a high fashion brand, to take me on and to do this photo shoot. So if you have a problem with it, I don't know what you want from me.
Let me find the rest of this because I did look up.
Mhm.
These are okay, yeah, I see it. It looks like she plays tennis.
It looks like she plays tennis. I mean, would I personally do a photo shoot that way? No, but I'm anal about my hair.
I have had to do a photo shoot this way, and
You just
you
go with it.
gotta buck up. Yeah, you put on a smile and you act like nothing is wrong because it is the hair that grows out of your head.
And like inherently, nothing like my perception of it is wrong. You know what I mean? My perception comes from the westernization of my hair and me feeling like my hair has to be plaited down perfectly and my lock retwist has to be, perfect. I have a really big issue with this and I've been working through that, right? But that's my issue.
Yeah,
She doesn't have an issue with it.
y'all are projecting.
You
Yeah.
y'all right, y'all are projecting your own issues about your own hair and your own beliefs about it onto her. And at least I can say that that's what the fuck I'm doing, right? Like if that's how she wanted to take the photo for a brand, who the fuck cares?
I don't
And
I really like the boredom of people and looking for things to talk about. Just on my soapbox for just a quick second. I do not understand.
mhm,
I know that you're escaping your life by looking at other people's, but do you not have enough going on that you had to get on the internet and yell at a girl for wearing her own hair to a photo shoot that she got paid for? What
that
did that
she
have to do with you?
and more importantly, that's how she usually wears her hair when she plays tennis. She's representing herself, there and this is nothing wrong with them, but there are some celebrities who are like, "Okay, I'm gonna, go high fashion for these things." And she's like, "No, you hired Coco Gauff.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get Coco Gauff. That goes back to our conversation about why are we entering contracts or relationships or requiring people to be who they're not presenting to be. If you didn't want her to be who she was, then find someone who's more high fashionable. But you didn't. You wanted Coco Gauff because she's fucking fantastic. She's amazing at tennis. She's killing the game. And
I
you
don't,
wanted her because of that.
and again, that's not the conversation. These pictures could have been praised for their creativity, artistic flair, whatever, but y'all decided to degrade
Do you remember um what's her name? Gabby, I can't remember.
Douglas.
Gabby Douglas before there was Simone Biles. And which, like, I love Simone Biles. Simone Biles is amazing, but not enough conversation happens about how Gabby Douglas like paved the fucking way for this shit to happen.
Yeah. And
But you
also
remember,
her hair.
right? The, she was, people comment on Simone Giles, but no one knows how much Gabby Douglas got
Mm-hmm.
so much hate for her. She had all the clips in her hair to try to keep it all straight so nobody would dock her from her hair because gymnastics, they dock you.
I didn't know that. I love
Mhm.
a
That's
uniform.
why that's why their hair is like stuck in place. I've been falling in love with watching like ballroom dance competition hair,
Ooh.
like cheer hair. It's so unhealthy for their hair, but I mean, they only do it like once, every once in a while for like the competitions, but like the amount of gel and hairspray and everything that has to go on because you get docked in these competitions if a hair comes out of place, all
Mm-hmm.
kinds of shit. And I remember watching and like I was a kid when it happened and I was like, yeah, her hair's not the greatest, but she's fucking fantastic. So am I going to focus on her hair or I'm going to focus on.
Olympian in front of me.
And that's what the frustrating part once again is that when we have this beautiful example of Black excellence, what we do instead is look for the ways that they don't represent what we think is excellence.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of being like, I think she was one of the most paid like athletes. Definitely, I believe she's one of the most paid female athletes in 2025. Because I did a podcast about that earlier in the year. She's making bank. Y'all over and honestly, the more y'all talk about her hair, the more money she's making.
Exactly. Exactly. Is this by design?
Is
Are
this
y'all hating on purpose? And I say y'all because I completely disengage from those things.
yeah,
So,
I'm I'm learning to like that. There's certain things that like get under my skin sometimes, but there are a
mhm.
lot of things like I saw and I was like, "Oh, this will be a great topic to talk about on a podcast." But I'm not about to go in these comment sections cuz I don't want to be irritated by stupid people.
Mm-mm.
It's not worth it. I just think that we really need to allow Black women to shine and be excellent and accept themselves however. I mean, just women in general, like the concept of women shaving their underarms. I love my entire body being shaved, but that's me. If you don't want to shave your motherfucking underarms, and honestly, I'm getting to a place that I don't want to shave my underarms all the time. It's a lot of work, cause a lot of damage.
Nobody's here.
It's
it's
just
just me.
me. Who, I mean, if I'm gonna wear a tank top, then maybe I'll care. But like outside of that,
Winter was a time. Yeah.
hmm, winter was a time. Oh my gosh, winter was. I was like, do I have to do this? I I love a scruffy winter. Maybe this is why I don't need a relationship. I love a fucking scruffy winter.
Look, because that's what I had as well. Spring
Mhm.
came quickly. And I was like, oh no, they caught me slipping outside. But
You're like, I want to wear my shorts. Oh,
yeah,
ooh,
I was thinking my dress was long enough. It was not. So we're back.
we adjust.
Happy spring. Yeah.
Happy spring. All right. Our next topic is Cardi B launches her hairline Grow, and it joins an ever growing list of celebrities coming out with beauty lines. And what does that say about celebrity sustainability?
Mm.
You're like thinking about it.
I'm trying to package this nicely because the words that I have are a bit more aggressive than what I mean. Um, I think that it is a smart play on
Mm,
their part. I think that as the consumer, we definitely need more things that actually are meant for our hair, and not just what was laid out on the shelves before. So I cannot be upset at progress. Um, I think it's just that everyone is not everyone. People are realizing that they can capitalize off their brand. And so I'm grateful that Cardi is doing a hairline instead of a
makeup.
maybe yeah, maybe a makeup line or something. Like she's in a lane that will I don't think she's gonna flop in this unless the product is awful, and that's on you, girl.
Mm,
But this revenue of business, like this area, I think it's a good investment. It's a good
choice.
yeah, but it like it's a good revenue earner, I guess is what I'm saying. Like it's a good passive revenue.
Yeah. I think that celebrities are really under noticed, like as the influencer culture continues to grow, they realize that celebrity is changing. Um, and that's just there's more, think about old Hollywood and the celebrity that looked like then. It's way different than what we have now. Old Hollywood, you presented as, perfect, everything was wrapped up in a bow. You capped out at like 29, 30.
Yeah.
And there is more success in it now, but I think a lot of them are also playing smarter and realizing that their time is coming. You can't be a no. You can't legitimately, like, you just that it can't be. I I think it's smart. There's certain celebrities where like Beyonce's hairline doesn't make sense to me. I know that people love it, but Beyonce's never really, outside of making a song about it, Beyonce's never really been open about anything in her life for the most part. But her hair journey has always
Yeah.
been kind of like a secret. So her getting into the hair care lane along like Tracy Ellis Ross, who has talked about her hair and having curly hair for her entire life. And Cardi B has spent a lot of time, talking about her hair and showing her growth. And um, it made more sense to me. I'm glad it's not makeup. I'm so glad that it's not makeup. Um, they're not one of my favorite brands of makeup is by Ariana Grande. I love her. I love REM. Um, personally, it's just more playful and kind of weird and esoteric like her sometimes.
Mhm.
Um, and there's a science behind it. That's one of the reasons why, as an indie author, a lot of people are like, well, why don't you promote your books more? Why don't you promote your books more? And I'm like, because the age that we live in, you're not going to buy my book because I told you that it's a Black dystopian book that's similar to The Hunger Games with Love. You're going to buy my book because you've seen me on social media so many times and you're like, oh, I like her. And you correlate that with I like her, so I'll like her book.
Mhm.
We correlate that now. But this is the thing that I love about Cardi and her marketing for this is that her marketing, one of her photos is just her with a bag, a plastic bag on top of her head, with like a deep
Mhm.
conditioner. And it's so Cardi B, and it's so like every Black girl has had a plastic bag on
Yes.
their head.
That is currently my cap of choice. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like my shower cap used to be plastic bags.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So Cardi B. I see the bag. Yeah.
And it's very core to her, like that's one of the things that I love about this brand launch versus other brand launches. Like, is Beyonce's product Sacred really good? I hear great reviews from it.
Mhm.
It didn't feel very core to her. And as we're getting into these brands where celebrities are starting to make these things, like call it the Kardashian, the real Kardashian curse, because I don't think it's anybody's motherfucking fault for men failing other than men. Personally, I just watched the Lamar Odom documentary, and that was proof that that his failure was his failure and his failure alone. But I think the
Mhm.
biggest Kardashian curse is that they have successful brands and they branded so smartly. Like originally, if you follow them from the beginning, their brands didn't make any sense. They were just kind of doing whatever was trending at the time.
Mhm.
But now each of them, I would say, except for the younger two, because the younger two have like these drinking brands, which I guess just makes sense because they're young and they're in their 20s and they're drinking, so whatever. But like the older ones, Kim Kardashian has been known for wearing um what's the word I'm looking for? The stuff that goes under your clothes, that tightens.
What?
The like
The skins thing, her skins
her
brand.
Skims thing, right? But it's like she's been known for wearing undergarments like that for years, right? So her going into Skims made sense. And when you look at the way that she dresses on the show and you look at the way that her clothes translate, you're like, oh, this is one, the brand identity in the brand isn't just the brand anymore. It's the person behind it, right? Chloe having a brand, having her jeans brand, which was created on inclusivity, made sense. She was the bigger one of the Kardashians. She probably couldn't find a lot of jeans in her size. So she wanted to create jeans that fit her and fit everybody. Like it was so you know what I mean? Like their brand creation and their company creation is so correlated with themselves that if you study it, it's fucking fantastic. And I think that Cardi B took a page out of their book, because if she would have dropped any other line, I probably wouldn't have cared.
Let me think. Even like a clothing line, like if she did maybe like kids' clothes or something.
I mean, kids' clothes, maybe, probably not. Like, she's so. One of the, I don't like Cardi B music all of the time. It's a vibe, but I'm not a big rap person anymore. But one of the things I've always loved about Cardi B, love her or hate her, is that she is who she is. You get what you get, right? Um, and so like I think that there had to be like an authenticity, and she talks about her kids, but she usually keeps a lot of it, close to her chest because there's a lot of drama that surrounds her kids because of their baby daddies and everything. Clothes would have made sense, but she also was so big with Fashion Nova for so long.
So right. So right.
And where she is, like her clothing would have to be affordable at around the Fashion Nova price because her hair products are supposed to be affordable. They're not
That's
going to
her.
be, yeah,
Yeah.
they're not going to be like your Sacreds where you're spending $30 for shampoo. They're supposed to be affordable. And that's her whole thing. She was all about Fashion Nova because she's like, why am I spending $200 on jeans when I can get them for $20 somewhere else? So I don't know. I think that celebrities are realizing, because even older celebrities like oh, what is her name from Friends that dated Brad Pitt?
Jennifer Aniston?
Yes. She has her own skincare line.
Interesting.
It's super like under, under the table, but she has her own skincare line. There's a lot of celebrities that are like, and some of them don't, last, but they're like, this isn't going to last forever. We're going to have to figure out ways to, and that takes it from being a celebrity to being like a business owner. And that's the way, like, these women are breaking generational, things. They're breaking wealth gaps, especially a lot of these Black women or minorities. They're breaking these gaps and creating, hopefully, a product that will outlive them.
One thing that I said before, and I think I posted a TikTok about it,
Hmm.
forced exodus of Black women from corporate. Y'all have created an issue
Hmm.
because Black women are determined. We're not Did you think we were going to lay down and die? So now we're creating businesses, we're
Mm-hmm.
creating brands, we're internet working with each other because we know that we have money within like our community. And I think that it's going to be revolutionary. Like, I think that this is going to be a line in the textbooks for kids to know. And I'm happy to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I pray that I'm a part of it. I,
I
because
think
I,
you're a part of it.
well, thank you. Uh, I think in the midst of all this, I
Mm-hmm.
think that we are also seeing similar tangents. Like the fact that Rihanna is not going to give us another album, but Fenty, she all over it. Like, even that sort of like out branching, I think it's inspiring because it's not something too far from home, but
Mm-hmm.
now it shows you that you can do something else. Like Cardi B is a rapper. She was I don't know, stripper before, rapper
Mm-hmm.
now, multi hyphenate business owner. And I think that I see it as inspiring to do more because I don't have three kids. So I do have a little bit more time in my day, I think, to get a couple of things done.
I mean, you don't have a
Um,
nanny either, so and a housekeeper and stuff.
okay, so we're
Yeah.
she might be coming up higher. Um, yeah. So I think that it's inspiring that they're doing it. Um, I love that Cardi's line is affordable because
Mm-hmm.
that was the thing with Sacred where like
Who,
your
who who's buying
everyday
it?
fans can't buy this. I know that people will spend $30 on shampoo, but the people that truly love you and could not get to a concert because tickets are expensive, and
Mhm.
now the shampoo is just out of reach because $30.
Like, what does that teach? So there's a conversation about the wealth gap with Black people, and more of the conversation should be about like why is it that we spend outside our means?
Hmm.
Why is it that we and I'm a victim of this as well, right? Why is it that we buy the latest Nikes or the latest, whatevers, but we don't have our house fixed up?
Call
And
this, sorry, go
no, go
ahead.
ahead.
We call this conspicuous consumption.
Mhm.
This is where usually you can tell that people who have not had money before come into money because they buy very flashy things
Mhm.
instead of securing things that will acquire wealth. They just get things that are, what's the word, expensive at the
They
moment.
want Yeah, they wanna, like, show you that they have
Yes.
money
Yes.
instead of
It's
living the life of actually having money. And to me, that's the issue with, like, some of these products. Are they worth it? Sure. But at the same time, are we encouraging our own people to spend more money than they have on our products? And does that not continue this cycle? You know what I mean? To me, it's just like, and I want to be clear. I'm not saying that Beyonce doesn't deserve it or that anybody else doesn't deserve it, but like at a certain point, it's who are we marketing to?
mhm.
You
The
know,
thing, go on.
I was gonna say like I have a couple Fenty stuff, but honestly, I don't buy a lot of Fenty stuff because it's really expensive. And the things I spent, like my really expensive makeup, is like my tinted moisturizer by Bare Minerals because that's going to be good for my face. You know what I mean?
Girl, but yes, yes, yes.
But you get what I'm saying, right? Like
Yes. Yep.
that's where my big bucks are going. And one of the things I liked about the REM with Ariana Grande is that she also has formulas that are good, made with natural ingredients that are good for your skin. But at the same time, guess where all my lip liners come from? Elf.
Hmm.
They come from Elf. Like I
I
just want
go,
to be clear.
yeah, I
My
go
color
to
palettes come from
HEB.
ColourPop.
I am looking for what the coupon has for me. That's what I'm looking for. So if it's L'Oreal, if it's Maybelline, What is the cheaper thing in my shade? Awesome. Let's
Mhm.
move. Let's go.
I'm a little bit more like, I'm like, okay, what's vegan? What's going to be good? And but that's why Elf has made, and this is why I think Cardi B's is going to do so well. That's why Elf has made such a success, and why they got a little pushback when they made more expensive things. Was Elf was supposed to be good quality makeup that anybody
Mhm.
could afford.
Mhm.
And that is what I love about Cardi B's thing, is that it's supposed to be good quality hair care that anybody can afford. And not this quote unquote affordability, like when everybody's like, these jeans are affordable and they're $70. And I'm like, who is this affordable to?
Okay. So this is the thing I was going to say before.
Mm,
They always tell you that there's an audience or there is a consumer base for every
mhm,
idea. And I think that this might be maybe a perception or a experience problem because we
mhm,
think that we are in closer proximity to celebrities and people who have high influence than we really are. And so when they price something at $30 and they're thinking, girl, who don't have $30 lying around? I have 200 in my purse and that's for the kids. So like who doesn't have $30? And so it's just that the understanding of like what it costs to live up here and what it costs to live down here and to survive, it seems to be a disconnect. But there's always people who will jump that for brand name or for
mhm,
conspicuous consumption like we were talking about before. And that is a stereotypically black issue.
mhm,
Um I think I do know that white people do it as well, but it's not as derogatory as it is for black people. But yeah, no, I think you brought up a good point because there is that angle of like you're spending money that you do not have to support someone who does not need your money. You are not their consumer base.
mm-mm. No, no. And it really makes me wonder. And we'll leave it at that. We'll get into our next segment, but it just those are things that I think about when I look at all the celebrity stuff. Our last topic is our pettier facts before we dive into whatever else we got to dive into. So pettier facts of the week. So, quick question. Have you ever opened your to do list, looked it dead in the face, and then immediately decided that reorganizing your desktop, deep diving on YouTube, or starting a completely unrelated side quest was actually the better life choice? Yeah, same. And that's exactly why this week on Basically Unbothered, we're talking about something that doesn't yell at you to wake up at 5 a.m. or just be more disciplined like some productivity drill sergeant. We're talking about a pinch of productivity, the secret sauce for motivation by Don Turner. Because instead of shaming you into being productive, it gives you the pinch framework: pressure, interest, novelty, challenge, and humor. Translation: you're not lazy, your brain is just bored. This is about learning how to work with your brain instead of fighting it so you can actually finish the things you keep putting off without turning your life into a boot camp montage. So if your motivation bar has been sitting at low HP for a little too long, go check out A Pinch of Productivity wherever books are sold. And maybe, just maybe, we'll finally finish one task before starting 5 new ones. Our mini segment are petty or facts. This has gone around on social media for at least a month, probably longer, but it just keeps coming up and I love the resurgence of it. But there was this woman and she asked this question, and women who participate in the like patriarchal standards just there's they just grind my gears. But she asked this question about why women don't get manicures anymore. And it's why, and I want to read some of the comments because some of the comments are just the most beautiful clapback that you could ever experience in your life. You get from some of these because they're just so perfect. Um but basically, you know, she was trying to shame women. Like, why aren't women doing more upkeep? Why aren't women, you know, getting their nails done more? All of these things, and you're like, oh, okay, this is strange. Why do you care?
Yeah.
What does it matter if I'm not getting my nails done or whatever? Why does that matter to you? But
Do
the
you have
clapbacks
socks?
were, it's just like, you know, them trying to say, women are not taking care of themselves as much as they used to. Isn't that so weird?
Yeah. I'm baffled that somebody would care. I
Someone
I think
does.
it's okay to notice it, uh, and it would definitely be a sign of the times. I think
Mhm.
because what we don't that's like 175 to 100 to get your nails done, like
Oh my
Phil,
gosh.
every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, not to mention a pedicure, and you also want me to keep waxed. Like, it's a lot of upkeep, my guy. I
The amount of but the crazy part is that this came from a woman. This came from a woman.
For sure.
So you know the exact amount of, like, right now my nails, I have to repaint them, but I've been polishing my nails myself recently because I love having my nails polished. I love having them done, but getting them done is so fucking expensive.
Yes. This is
Love
my
them.
self-care. I do t
Yeah.
they make me happy, which is it's my
Mhm.
self-care. But ask me the last time I got a wax.
Yeah.
I'm not like, there's other things that I have to balance a budget, guys.
That's what I'm saying. Like, for me, the thing I care about the most, like, what's the thing that I don't want to do the most? I hate shaving, but I'll do it. Right.
Mhm.
When I get the money to get a wax again, oh, best believe you're gonna see me in the summer. But my hair, that's
Mhm.
the thing that I care. I'm on camera all the time. I'm content creating all the time. We talked about how, like, I have weird things around my hair. So if I'm gonna spend money on something, it's gonna be my hair.
Yeah.
That's where it's going.
I do my own hair because expenses, but that's not like I love the scruffy look. I love your hair. But
Mhm.
on me, I feel like a scruffy look just looks natural, like the parts. I don't like it. And so I just coast with this. But yeah, no, if I wanted my hair constantly done, it takes too long. It
It's
takes too long.
so here's like the side note. So I go to this salon. It's in Ferndale. I love the salon, by the way. It's called Locks of Love. Love, love, love the salon. I go to different stylists because to be loyal to your stylist now, it costs extra money. They price, no, it was crazy. They price and this is the first time I've ever seen it, your lock retwist by how many locks you have. So, like, every 15 or so additional locks, it costs more. I know. So I barely made it into the $85.
So they're counting locks.
No, no. When I went there, they counted. Like, when I went there for the first time, they counted my locks.
They counted.
Mhm. I have 109 apparently.
That's insane. That's
Crazy.
you guys have run up a free market. There's no rules anymore.
Mm. Even better. This is why the bar is set so low. The last place that I went to when I lived in a different city would charge $85 as well,
Mhm.
but they would not wash my hair.
Why do we go to stylists? Like, why?
See, for me, it's like, I retwist my hair? Yeah, I know how to retwist my hair myself. And I've done it in the past. But the same way, like with nails, for me, it's just like, it's my, like, shutdown time, right? Retwisting my hair, I spent decades doing my own hair.
Yes.
Not having to do my own hair is like a luxury for me.
I don't even want to get started because I know that I'm going to be like this. There's so much time in the day now.
There's
Standing in front of a mirror, just, I have to do it this weekend.
Yeah. There's like, That's one of the reasons why I love locks. I love locks because I can get the like, my hair they even asked me, they're like, "Well," because getting styles obviously costs more money. They're like, "Do you ever get styles?" "No, I've got locks so my hair could lay down." Like, to be real, I didn't get locks so that I could put them in all these kinda crazy styles all the time. I got locks so that
My hair could be my hair. See?
but sometimes, yeah, like, I can just do this and keep up with my life. But the best thing about going back to the topic, the best thing was the kinda like the conversations we're having was the response to these. So the response came with photos, but it was like,
Oh,
because I'm a heavy duty mechanic, that's why I can't get
mhm.
manicures done. Because I'm too busy hitting people as a boxer. These are all women. Because I press buttons for a living. Because I'm a free diver and nails make putting a wetsuit on too difficult. Because I can't play classical piano with acrylics.
Mm.
And they're just one's an archaeologist, one runs an animal sanctuary, one is a doctor. And it just once again the conversation of like what I care about. First of all, we're asking these women, why aren't we following these beauty standards that we've set upon them? Well, it's because I'm out here I'm being motherfucking productive. I have a motherfucking career. I'm
I'm
not
out here
sitting at home.
keeping a house for a husband. That's what I'm not doing. I don't have any children. So why would I not be excellent? Why would I not do what the fuck I came to do?
Right. I'm gonna shine in my motherfucking excellence. And guess what? And again, I love nails and I'm getting ready to do some like indie author events. And I'm like, oh, I might grab some like press-ons. I love press-ons. Let me put girlies get press-ons, but don't get dollar store press-ons. Don't get those $5 press-ons. Splurge and get the $12, ones because they last and they look fantastic.
I am a DIY queen. I did
Mhm.
almost everything to my nails, and then I was like, I can't. It was taking too much time. So yeah. But yeah, I
I
absolutely love to press on.
I'm also DIY queen. I make my own face wash. I make my own face oil. I make my own hair oil. I make my
Mhm.
own body wash. I make my own for the fact that we spend so much money for someone to make us rosemary water is wild. You realize that you just get rosemary and you put it in a pot and you boil it. Do that once a week. And it works. And it works.
I
And
think I
people are
saw a
just
little vial of that. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
and people capitalize off of it. And I mean, I make teas and I make candles, and I'm telling you that rosemary as an herb is not as expensive as you think it is.
Mm.
Now, some places will charge more, and I'm not a proponent of telling people to go on Amazon, but you can go on Amazon and get a giant bag of rosemary for about $10.
Mm.
Merry Christmas. There you go. I am also that. But do you think that it's like I think it's not petty. I think it's facts that these women are clapping back at this woman who's trying to be like, why aren't you feminine anymore? It's like, because I'm over here doing the jobs that your men won't do anymore. So,
Absolutely facts. Absolutely facts. I do have one side question. Does
mm,
it cost extra to get your locks styled?
mhm.
I knew it that it would. Okay.
And I do not. Like, I'm thinking I'm getting ready in next month and it like lines up because I usually get my locks retwisted every like 4 weeks or whatever. It lines up perfectly to go to this Detroit writers retreat. And so I was like, maybe I'll get a style then. But then my mom was like, well, most of the styles that they do are like updos. And I was
Yeah.
like, no, no, no. No. You mean I'm gonna have to be stuck with my hair up on my head giving me a headache all day? Yeah.
I locked my hair
Mm.
so it could be my hair.
That's what
I want to
I
be able to do this.
I don't think people understand that. Like and this is no shade to the people. Like maybe eventually I'll get styles, but
Right.
I have always just wanted to wear my hair down. I spent so many times flat iron. I mean, when my hair was curly, that was fun. I could do different styles with it and I did enjoy that, but I really just wanted to wear my curly hair down. I Everybody has a different thing. I just want to wear my hair down. I don't want I've seen people and they're so cute when they do it. I personally don't want to do it. But when they put like the boho curls in their locks,
Mhm.
First of all, mine
Mhm.
are really fucking dense, so I don't really and I have one that's where's my little baby? She hanging on a strand. Literally, she hanging on by
Aw.
a prayer. But she's so cute and I can't get rid of her.
I've been cutting mine when they get there. I just chop it.
I
So I have
normally do
my
too.
these front two pieces. No, not that
Yeah.
one. They're so
Normal
tiny.
she's gonna break soon, and normally I just break them myself, but she's been hanging on, and I'm
You
gonna
might
let
give it
her.
a bite. Yeah.
But you're right, like, I got my locks done. I just like in life in general, everything I'm doing in my life now is so that I could be happy. It's
Mhm.
so that I can be feel good, so that I can have the time to do more things that I wanna do in life. And, like, even I'm a writer. I used to get my nails done all the time and then be really frustrated because it'd be
Mhm.
too long to type on my keyboard.
Yes. Yeah.
And then I'm like, "Oh," and this is why I love the idea of press-ons because the idea of press-ons means, like, I can go to this event and Imma get this most secure glue possible because I have a fear of the
Yes.
nails popping off.
It has happened. That's why I couldn't do it. I had to get them done because mine were popping off left and right. I carried glue with me
Me too.
everywhere.
Me too. I perfected a system and it still would just, like and I work in a bar, like, I no. And that's why my mom was like, "Why won't you go back to your press-ons?" And I was like, it was too stressful to be working and then worrying about if this action is gonna pop off a nail.
Yeah. What
But
if
if
I
Imma go
can't
to an
find the
event
nail?
yeah. If Imma go to an event though, I'm gonna go to an event and Imma wear those nails and then Imma take them off the next day and keep on with my and I love that's me. I want the versatility in it. And even with the style, I don't want you to put my if I want my hair to go up, Imma put my hair up.
Mhm. That's that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. This
And,
guy
like
was like, "You should style your hair." And I was like, I just had pigtails yesterday. Like, what do you mean?" He's like, "No, you should style your hair. Like, you should get it done." I don't. Is it an experience? Have you ever had yours styled?
do you know what the cost, the feeling,
That's
the
what
tightness? Like, "Sir, how about this is this is" my gosh, I saw this post. I'm trying to remember what it said though, and maybe it was on TikTok, and I loved it because it was I don't want to see no, it was on TikTok. It's one of the creators that I really love, and I know I hearted it because I love her. I yeah. So it says, "Clap if you're against." And then the other part says, "Men who have social media or a podcast." Clap, clap. Men on men having because men on podcasts solely exist to comment on women 9 times out of 10.
Yes.
A
Yeah.
sports podcast is different, right? Like you having a sports podcast, I love stay in your lane. Like I love this for you. But you having there was this guy I got into it with, and apparently he's like a big pop culture influencer, content creator. And he was talking about like Taylor Frankie Paul, and he was like, who should be she shouldn't be the bachelorette. Somebody else should be the bachelorette. I was like, ooh, I don't like it when men compare women to each other. That's gross.
Uh,
And he's like, I'm not comparing them to each other. It's like, are you dumb? You're cute. And so he tried to like list his qualifications about how his opinion is more important than my opinion. And my qualifications ended his, and then I ended mine was, "As a motherfucking woman, I said what the fuck I said. Why are you commenting?" I don't understand why men care so much about what the fuck that we do. Like, why?
Control.
I think it's
They want
control, but I
control.
think it's jealousy.
Absolutely.
There's
I
like
think
this
we're in the site conversation, but yes. Yes, it's jealousy.
it's
It's
just
the
like
expression that we have.
women are finding a beautiful way to express and I think that that's the women have found a way to break away from the patriarchy and the
Mhm.
expectations that society set upon us. And men are struggling to find their way to do it. And
Mm.
it creates
Because
this
they've
like
always had women to do it.
they've always had women to do it, but it's just like in their defense, it's hard to recreate and reinvent yourself.
Mhm.
But what it takes is the ability to devalue yourself, de-evolve yourself, like literally pull yourself apart and put yourself back together. And that is something that they don't want to do. And women had to do it because we were forced to by society, right? And that's what people don't understand. Like, women were in these roles, and obviously women wanted to break out of these roles, and we fought to be able to vote and things like that. But one of the reasons why women really started to feel their power was when you guys went to war and we had to carry the country on our back, and we're like, oh, this isn't as bad as I thought it was. This
Can
isn't
do
as
this.
We can do this. And
Oh,
we
yes, yes.
started, yeah, we started recreating ourselves. And the problem is that men haven't had that same, even though everything around them is screaming for them to do it,
Yeah.
they haven't come to that same realization that, first of all, who gives a shit if you're a stay-at-home dad? Who gives a shit if you are not the main provider? Because you know who doesn't? Your wife, who's happy, living her life, and you guys have a happy marriage. And I want to be really clear. If you have a friend that makes you feel less of a man because
Mhm.
you don't participate in gender norms, then they are not your friend. They also might be gay.
They That's the other part. I think they still have not, speaking wildly generally, I think that a lot of, I'll say it, males in general,
Hmm.
there's still that big afraid to be gay thing for the sake of other men. It's just for
Yes.
pure social connections. It's not family. It's not like work. It's not anything. It's just that you do not want to see another man seeing you be affectionate to a man or that man feeling affection from you because it just feels weird to you. But
And
it's going to be all right.
why does I had a conversation with my coworkers at the bar, right? At the brewery. Because we have like a pizza truck, and we call them like the pizza boys or whatever, right?
Mhm.
I've never, and none of them, only one of them is black, but the rest of them are white. I've never in my life hung around men who get along more and who, when they leave, say, love you guys.
Mhm.
Every time I leave, love you guys, see you later. And I told them that one time. I was like, this is amazing to me. I've never seen, like, because the men I grew up around, the men I hung around, saying that you loved your boy was like, don't say that, you're gay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think we've got to dig deeper than that. I think it's the I love you, but I think it's the actual affection. Because I
Yeah.
think that men are getting more comfortable being like, yeah, bro, we gotta, that's what's up. And that means I love you to them.
Hmm.
But I think it's deeper in the fact that you have to go check on your bro.
Yeah.
You have to go, like, if he's having a thing, you should go to it and support him.
Hmm.
Y'all should hang out as bros doing bro things. It's really okay. You can go to another man's house and hang out, and it's not gay. But
And
just for your social being, it
mhm.
makes you a better person.
And not only that, but like have it not centered around a woman, have
Yeah.
it not centered around getting high or getting wasted.
Yeah.
Like have it literally, if eventually I date and one of my partners is like, hey, I'm gonna go play pool at such and such house. Like, cool, great. Or I'm gonna go, yo, the new Marvel movie just came out. We all are gonna go over and watch it. I'm like, I love this for you.
Bond time. Yeah.
Sounds like you know what? Matter of fact, you do that. I'm gonna get the girls. We're also gonna watch the Marvel movie. And then
Yeah.
when you get home, we'll compare notes.
Talk
You know what I
about
mean?
it.
I want more men to have that. I want more people to have that in general. Like, I want to have that more, you know?
Do you feel like making a tide toward that? Can you see that as something happening
For men,
for us all?
I do, people fuss about us being more psychologically aware, and they think that it's detriment and it's making us all softer when in reality, no, we're just not out beating our kids or our wives
Mhm.
as much. Um, but I think that like maybe not in our generation. I think millennials got some struggles and confusions that we have to work out being like this in between generation. But I can definitely see Gen Zs and Gen Alphas, the ones who there's some that are becoming like really extreme because they're
Mhm.
pushing back on it. But I've seen because what I'm talking about, some of them are millennials, but what I'm saying are people who are more Gen Zs and how they're being more okay with just
Yes.
and any, in any sex, race, whatever, I do see it growing. And I think it grows the more self aware you are and the more you know what you need. Like, I don't need to go to a bar.
Mhm.
I do need to sit at the house and watch a movie with a glass of wine and chit chat
Mhm.
and have girl snacks. I love girl snacks. I want a girl dinner every night of the week.
Mhm.
And I think that the more we learn about ourselves and what we crave, and like we were talking about earlier, breaking away from that 9 to 5 mentality
Yeah.
and be like, what do I actually need? What do I need in a friendship? I don't do I want to have a friend? One friend that I call every day? Sure. Do I
Mhm.
absolutely need it? No. I'm not the friend that's gonna call every day.
Friends that call me every day.
Do you love it?
I do. My friend didn't call me this morning because we talk every morning. It's my guy bestie. Every
Mhm.
morning at like 6:37, he goes to walk his dog.
Mhm.
And he calls
And you
me
have
over.
like a morning.
Yeah, we have a morning chat. Yeah.
I would
I
love
don't
to
need
have
it. I enjoy
yeah.
it.
I would love to have like one friend that I can do that with, but I don't need it. Um and I'm more solitary, which a lot of people don't know about Sagittarius, but Sagittarius can be very solitary. We like show up, show the party, and then disappear.
Mhm.
And I can be
My
really
bestie.
solitary.
Yeah.
Do they do that?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's living her best life right now. Yeah.
Hmm. But at the same time, I could also be living my best life like solo.
Mhm.
And
She'll go hiking. She'll do all the things. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And I'm grateful that the friends that I have in my life now know that about me so that, you know, there's not like an expectation of why isn't she calling? Why isn't she, whatevering? And I love that for me. But I think understanding men have this expectation, like you were talking about before, about like what they believe in. I can't be gay. I don't want another man to see me be affectionate in this way. They have this very tunnel vision of what a man is.
Mhm.
And I think that when women had to rewrite what being a woman was, and we realized that it was more in maybe our sensitive nature or our nature to nurture, even though that doesn't there's it's like the DSM-5, right? When you're looking at a diagnosis for a mental disorder, you don't have to meet all the criterias. You just got to
Mhm.
meet some of them, right?
Mhm.
And women are starting to understand that. Like to be a woman, I don't have to have all these criterias. I could just check off some of these boxes and I'm still secure.
Yeah.
Men feel like they have to have all of these criterias.
Yeah. It's a lot of pressure on them, I think.
It is. I feel so sad because, we're talking about how women like makeup and everything and it's so freeing and how I think that they're a little like envious of that. I feel sad because they don't have that freeing. I don't feel too sad because they be doing wild shit, but I do feel sad that they don't have that freeing thing.
Expression
They
every
can't
day.
I can't
Yeah.
imagine. I literally cannot imagine waking up and being like, how am I going to be manly today?
Mm.
You know?
Let me think. That sounds awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. No.
Mm-mm. Or like, as sad as it is, how are women going to perceive, like, we men talk about how women dress for men. We don't, because we stopped caring how you perceived us. But men really care how women perceive. I mean, they care more about how men perceive them, but they,
Mhm.
in general, they care about their perception more than we do now.
Mhm.
I can't I got up this morning and I was like, "Ooh," the only thing I cared about was my perception of myself. Like, "Ooh, I slept in. I don't like it when I sleep in," but also I didn't go to bed till 2. Like, me working through these things in my brain, forgiving myself. I did my makeup and I didn't think like, "Oh, I'm gonna do my makeup to go look pretty for it." I was like, "Oh, I wanna wear this, so and I wanna have, like, a more subdued look today, so I'm gonna do that for," like, never in my thought process was how I'm gonna show up to men or how I'm gonna show up to women. It
Mhm.
was solely about myself.
I think that so this is what I do. This is like
Mhm,
my identity.
mhm,
I think that we're not doing the hard work as a society um to heal those parts or evolve the parts of our identity that have changed. Like it's taking a bit too long for
mhm,
people to get to the point of evolution now where they realize what's important and go for that because they're still trying to chase goals. And
mhm.
so looking for identity in self as opposed to things is something that we should probably enrich more. We don't have a lot of social science in our society. It's more so capitalism.
Mhm,
So the things that people are buying to now fulfill themselves inside is raising the money capital and what is it? The ceiling for what we
mhm.
can do. And we've neglected those social parts of our lives that we need, like the social connections. It's like, have you been outside the country?
I want to so bad, so
It's
bad.
really apparent.
I have a friend, she's a digital nomad.
Yeah.
Um, Shout
Love
out
that.
to Maya Eliza for everybody who wants to go follow her. Um, and she tells me all these stories all the time
Mhm.
about just how different it is.
Yeah. They value culture.
Mhm,
It's something that's part of like what's maintained in society.
mhm.
And here, they cancel Sesame Street. Like
Right. We canceled the thing that teaches our children.
it's the most basic of human concepts that are being taught there. And y'all
Mhm.
said we don't need this. Fuck
Kindness,
that.
sharing, gratitude,
Yeah.
counting numbers. Like what?
It's all and so I don't know. I don't know what the kid space looks like anymore. But it's we're missing the component of culture being
Mhm.
important in society, period. Period.
So you said, because we went through this whole podcast and we didn't even get, we were just gabbing. We didn't even get time to introduce you. You said that this is what you do. I just realized that you're like, this is what I do. And I'm like, oh my God, we spent this entire time. So what is it that you do?
So, okay, I am a public scholar, is what we
Hmm.
call it. But I'm a sociologist, PhD. I research identity, and right now my research is focusing on names and naming. And so I'm looking through an Afrocentric perspective, meaning as if Black people are the center and the original concept. And then we look at how other people are deviations. So
Hmm.
I look at Black names as creativity. I used to study them. When I was first in graduate school, I studied like name discrimination.
Hmm.
And it's so like to read about racism and the way that you're hated, it's a lot on the body. And so I flipped that this past 2015 summer. And I now view it from an Afrocentric perspective. So instead of markers for discrimination, it's signs of creativity. It's signs of African roots showing up in a person, in a being, in a culture that you definitely tried your best to snuff. And
Hmm.
still, here we are. But I also do like identity training or
Hmm.
identity guiding. Because there's a lot in what you show to the public as opposed to what's going on inside of you that
Hmm.
is psychological, but it's also sociological. And so I jump in there with that piece. So feel free to sign up for my consulting hours or like a brain share or something if you just need to get it out and think about what that next connection is.
Mhm. I love I love what people would call like pseudosciences. I love social sciences so much. Like
Social, yes.
psychology, sociology, even philosophy, they're just so fascinating to me and people don't value them enough. And it's so important. Like, first of all, people get the psychology, sociology, philosophy things mixed up all the time. And to break it down to my understanding, psychology is about you, the being as a person, and sociology is about the environment around you.
Well, it's
Um,
about the people in the environment around you. But yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And it's so fascinating because, you can't have, one without the other to understand yourself, right? Like I spend a lot of time understanding myself, but maybe I'm not spending enough time. And maybe that's my problem. Maybe that's why my social media hasn't picked up or whatever. Maybe I'm not spending enough time thinking about how I'm appearing to the world.
I don't think that you should.
Oh,
There's
okay,
okay.
great.
Yeah,
No, I love,
so
love this.
one book, and I hate that it's not like a black author that I read and I love it so
Mhm.
much. The Courage to Be Disliked.
Oh my gosh, I've read that.
Did you read it?
I haven't finished it because the conversational
Yeah.
aspect of it
I
is a
know. I know.
lot.
You gotta finish it. You gotta
Okay.
fight through.
Mhm.
Don't skip. Do not. You
I
gotta
haven't
finish it. Yes, you have to finish it because there's a point where it clicks and it's
Mhm.
like your brain is just like, "Oh, that's not my task. I don't give a fuck about what they're doing."
I
And
love
then
the
there's
No, go ahead.
also that nobody is thinking about you. Like that is one of the chapters.
I
Nobody
remember
is
that.
paying attention to you because everybody is analyzing themselves to death. They have other things going on than to critique your outfit and then embarrass you. Some people
Mhm.
do it, but odds are, girl, just mind your business. It's the courage to be disliked is what I was gonna say. Is a great philo- philosophical perspective
Mhm.
of just what it feels to be in your own self.
Mhm.
Like if it doesn't matter to you what your perception is of others, do you know how much further you could get in life?
I those are things that I try to challenge every day. And as much as people degrade social media, I think that social media, when done correctly, helps to challenge those beliefs as well. Like you're putting yourself out there in a way that have to, like, some people care way too much, right? But for some people, they're putting themselves out there in a way they're like, all right, fuck it. This is, this is what you get. I found that book when I was going through a breakup with the guy I'd mentioned about earlier. And I remember I gotten so low and we were still like talking throughout the breakup because I would have like really bad breakdowns. And he had a question like, why do you care so much about what other people think? And I was like, oh,
The
why?
gut reaction is to say, I don't, but then you have to sit with it.
But like he was right though. Why do I? And I still do, and I'm working on it. But I also have like social anxiety and there's like another component to it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm working on it every single day. And that book did help me. I think that it would be better if I listened to the rest of it.
Okay.
I do better listening with those type of books, um, because sometimes reading my brain like just shuts down. But sometimes listening, my like one side of my brain is focusing on something, but I'm still retaining the information. I might do better listening, but I think that that's a fantastic book the reviews on that book is insane.
Yeah. It's a life-changing book.
Mhm.
I feel like I'm in a cult, but it legit, like, I gave it. So a friend came over and I was like, you should really read this book. And she was like, cool, I'm gonna take it. And now I'm just like, girl, are you done? Because I need to revisit a couple chapters just to make sure that I'm
Mhm.
good. I would hate to have to order another copy for myself, but I think I will. 'Cause 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 I think I will. '
I mean, honestly, when I give someone a book in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm getting a new copy.
Yeah, like this can't. No, no.
There's another book, unfortunately, also not by a Black author, by Mel Robbins. What is the name of
Let
this book?
them.
Let This is not a new concept. She didn't create the concept. And I want people to be clear about some of these things that like these books that are being written, they're not new concepts.
No.
They're just someone taking the time to actually like analyze and go through it and figure out how we can like apply in our everyday life. The let them theory, that book is so fucking life changing. And I wanna revisit it too, because I listened to it. I wanna revisit it too. But even when I've been in my absolute lowest, and
Mhm.
I've hit some really bad lows this, past year, like friends leaving me after a friend passed away, like some really crazy shit. No, like wild. Still, I had to be like, "Let them and let me," because that was another part, right? I keep saying this, and I'm sorry if I beat this with a dead horse to the people who listen to this podcast, but the podcast originally was with my cousin. We didn't get along. And in my mind, I was like, you know what? Why am I fighting this? Why am I pushing back on this? Let her believe what she wants to believe about me. Let her believe what she thinks about this podcast. Let me let go of this, do
Yeah.
something, go into another route, keep podcasting because I love this. And the same way the Mel Robbins says in that book, if your friendship is meant to be, sometimes friendships take years, decades off,
Yeah.
and
I
you just
had
to let it. Sorry, go ahead.
so my childhood bestie,
Mhm.
um, we were in church together maybe like I think 9 or 10. And we
Mhm.
had been besties all the way through. And so we get to 18, 19 years old.
Mhm.
Um, and we're starting to like rift apart because I'm going to college and I think that I'm engaged to be married and my life is on track. And
Mhm.
she's going to her like a college closer to her family, but she's
Mhm.
going to have to figure out what she's going to do because university, college. And
Right.
so we just kind of rift. We did not talk for a decade, a decade.
Mhm.
And so at one point, I think that I liked something of her friend. It was some Facebook I saw that you liked, and I really hate that, blah, 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 blah. And so I messaged her and I was like, "Are you talking about us?" And she was like, "Yeah, I really hate that our friendship, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "Well, fuck it then. I mean, are
We're
we
here.
cool?" Yeah. And so we've been great. So yeah, sometimes they take a break. You have to grow up, and that may mean growing apart, but that doesn't mean that you lose them forever.
Right. And but you have to let them go because whatever, like whatever there's someone said recently that somebody I know put a curse on me. I believe in all that crap. Whatever. How this let them theory goes. Obviously, I could be like, who is it? How do I get them back? Whatever. I was like, you know what? Because everything around my house has just been like, or my house, the apartment that I live in, which is my dad's apartment right now, has just been falling down. That's how I injured my toe. Something literally heavy fell on my toe on my way to work. And someone's like, yeah, you know what? I think that someone's really jealous of you and they're sending you negative energy. And my thought process wasn't like, how do I find out who they are? How do I get them back? My process was like, okay, well, if this is what they're going to do, I have no
Mhm.
control over this. I'm going to let them do that. I'm going to keep doing what I need to do. Maybe I'm just going to take it and rearrange my room. I'm going to take this negative and make it a positive so that whatever's happening, if this person is trying to get access to me, if they've seen something, now they won't see it. Now they won't have that access to me. Now I'll get rid of that item and then I'll just redo my room. Like I'm going to let them do whatever the fuck they want
Yeah.
they feel they need. But I'm not gonna let it affect me. I'm not gonna let it take me out of my character. I'm not gonna let it make me do anything. Like truly, like when we have these people who want negative things, or like if you don't believe in curses, when you have someone who's sending negative energy or
Mhm.
treating you negatively, I tell this to my mom all the time. Let them do it. Because I guarantee you, the person in the end that's gonna look like a fool is them and not you all the time. And then I've
Mhm.
people have tried in my life. I've been through shit. People have tried to rewrite my story. People have tried to tell people things about me that weren't true, like all kinds of things. And I've had to learn at the end of the day that I can't control the narrative that other people put out. I can't control what other people are trying to perceive me, but I do know that whoever knows me and knows my heart knows exactly who I am. And those are the only people that I need to know who I am. The rest of it
Yeah.
doesn't fucking matter. And that goes into the fear of being unliked.
Hmm.
People are not going to like you. And I deal with this more. I don't give a shit if random people don't like me. I struggle with this more with people that I care about. But random people not like me, that should do not hurt my
It
feelings.
used to bother me.
It used to.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, ooh, when people send me social media things, when they make mean comments on social media, first I get as a human being, I get so into it. And then I'm like, why the fuck do you matter?
Yeah.
Like
I'm
you
over here to be hateful. Like you have nothing else to do.
I'm over here building businesses and brands and you're spending your time. Like let's be clear. I don't comment on anyone's page unless it's positive, 9 times out of 10, unless they're already sending out some negative shit. Even then, I usually don't anymore because I don't want to engage on social media. I don't want to deal. I just want peace. People who want peace don't go on social media and comment negative things on other people.
It has never crossed my mind to comment
Mm-mm.
something negative.
No. If it's negative, I'm swiping. I'm just like, okay, this isn't for me.
No. I think this is so random. The
Mhm.
last negative comment that I made online was probably when they had those shootings or the alleged possibility of a shooting in Dallas.
Mhm.
Um, and they had caught, I don't know, something like that. But that was at least a decade ago, I think.
Yeah.
So it has not occurred to me. That's really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, and that will always be the indicator of where you are in your life. Like you may feel like your life is not where you want to be, anything like that. Unhappy people make unhappy statements. Happy people do not seek to hurt other people
Do not.
because the only thing that they want is happiness and peace and to live a good life. Unhappy people want to bring you down.
I don't give them any thought. Um, One thing, so did you grow up churchy by any chance?
Kind of. I'm not at all now, but kind of.
Very fair, very fair. Um, do you remember, it's one of the parables, but long story short, the point is that if somebody does you harm,
Hmm.
you still wish good for them.
Hmm.
Like you still want them to be blessed. And I was like, I don't know that that's
Like how I would
for
handle that.
me. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that that's so now I wish them nothing. And I think that's the part that I've gotten in this piece. It feels like a balance for me because I don't wish you anything because you're not in my thoughts. I can't say anything good or bad because what I didn't know we were talking.
Yeah. I think I'm a little bit I am kind of like on a thing. At first I'm pissed off. And when I'm pissed off, I can't think
Mhm.
straight. Like I know that about myself now. Usually if I'm pissed off, I just stop. I stop talking. I listen to my screamy, yelling music and I let that get all my aggression out. Um, but honestly, it takes me a time. At first I get pissed off. The second thing is I just wish that they keep me out of it.
Mhm.
But at a certain point, and I can't remember what book that I read that got me to this point. But at a certain point, and they mentioned it a little bit in the let them theory, I start to see them as people and I feel so bad for them that this is their my life is over here and I may have all these struggles, but it's still beautiful and amazing. I get to do it. Your life looks like this and you spend all this time that I only wish you healing because I can't imagine what life must be like to live like that.
It's not my task. That is from the courage to be just like, that is not my task.
You're
Mm-mm.
right. It's not. It's not at all. Um, we've been gabbing for a while, and I want to close this out because we're like 2 hours now. It's like, holy Moses.
Okay, yeah. We have just been chit-chatting.
Yes, I loved it. But I did want for everybody to know that as you have, as I have invited you onto my podcast, you've invited me onto yours.
Yes.
So you're gonna see a double of us. Okay,
Yes. I will
perfect.
see you Monday for our amazing conversation.
I'm so excited. I'm excited because, like you told everybody before, you spent a lot of time focusing on names. And I
Mhm.
got a lot of them.
Yes, let's chat.
I
Let's
can't wait.
chat.
So you guys
Huh?
have what's the name of the podcast again?
It's called the Given Name Podcast.
Oh
Given
yeah, I
Name.
remember because I love when you because we were like talking when I was getting my locks redone, and I was like, I love that
Yes.
name. Um, no, I love the name so much. So I'm gonna join you on the Given Name, which I'm so excited about. Um, and we're gonna get to chat more. And I love talking with you, and I can't wait to hear what my name is gonna like bring up. I'm so excited.
Yes. Me too. It's been amazing to chit chat. We've just been yapping.
I
So
love
good
it.
times. Hope you got some good clips. But you're okay.
Me too. Oh, girl, we done talked about everything. It's gonna be clip. People gonna be like, "Oh, why were they saying that?" It's gonna be great.
They're gonna
It's
watch
gonna be
the
great. They
clip,
will.
clip, clip.
Y'all just gonna have to suck it up. But all right. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Basically Unbothered podcast. Please don't forget to check out Dr. Shanae and her podcast, The Given Name, and you will find me on her podcast coming really, really soon.
Yes.
We're
Awesome.
excited.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. Gabi Gabs podcast.